What's up, guys? This is Vince and Andrew with On We Invest, and here we are today going to talk about the top 4 books you should read for sure if you ever want to get into real estate. So here we go. What's the number 1 book? Andrew?
Number 1 for sure, and anyone who invests in real estate knows what I'm going to say, is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Why? Because it's a paradigm shift book. It's really more about the mental game. In fact, the first 2 books in this list are going to be about the mental shift, because we're raised in a way to think about just honestly getting a job, paying our bills, getting by, and hoping that we retire with something. This book changes your mindset to think like rich people think, and that is it talks about assets and liabilities and how wealthy people, the rich dad in this book, invests in assets and owns a business and owns, more specifically, the most greatest asset of all time and wealth builder, real estate. The second book is the Cashflow Quadrant, which is what Robert Kiyosaki followed up with, and that goes more in depth.
Alright, so Andrew just talked about Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. So he wrote a follow-up book called Cashflow Quadrant. So that's the number 2 book we recommend. That actually builds on the mind shift. This is like for sure you have to read this book. So this talks about, there's a quadrant, there's 4, and you want to be on the right side of the quadrant. So the first one is an employee. So I'm an employee. Till 5 o'clock I work for a medical device company. You know, I get paid, I get medical insurance. But that's not a way to build wealth. There is no way in hell I'll ever be rich working for a W-2 job. It doesn't matter how much money you make, because you will be paying close to 40%, and if you go higher, you know, if you make hundreds of thousands of dollars in California, you can pay up to 59% tax. That is not good at all, right? So you want to get away from that. So the second quadrant is self-employed or self-employed. So in that one, you get a little bit more benefit, but you still end up paying a lot of taxes. So now you move on to the right side of the quadrant, which is a small business owner. Now you get a lot of tax benefits. Actually, Andrew is a small business owner, and he, you know, he has a S corporation set up, and you know, there's a lot of tax benefits of owning a corporation, taking a payroll, and he can deduct a lot of the expenses, right? So that's good. And the last one, there's only 5% of people in the world who actually are in this quadrant, which is an investor. So, you know, Andrew's on the 2 best ones. I'm on the worst one and the best one, right? So I'm an employee till 5. After that, I am an investor. But some of the investor tax benefits carries over to my employee. For example, if you make $100,000 or less, or even up to $150,000, it gets phased out once you reach 150 for a single individual. You can deduct up to $25,000 of passive income losses, which is crazy, which is I can deduct a paper loss of $25,000 in my real estate business, right? It's a paper loss. I'm making money. We'll explain it in another video. But the $25,000, I can put it in a Schedule E, and then it comes on my tax return, and I deduct $25,000 of income from my W-2 job. So I end up saving about $7,000, right? So this is huge. So that's Cashflow Quadrant, and then we'll go on to book number 3. What is 3 for
Number
you?
3, definitely, hands down, the Bible of investing in real estate. And this is the one that gives you the tools, the one that, you know, that actually like shows you, okay, here's how you analyze the deal, here's what you need in place, the team, etc. And that is the book on rental property investing by none other than Brandon Turner. Shout out, biggerpockets.com. Definitely subscribe to them. Definitely sign up on their website. They give away a lot of value, and they do a great job and helped us a lot in understanding what it takes to really, you know, the tools needed to actually be successful in real estate investing. So it talks basically about, you know, everything that gets you, like everything that Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about, gets you thirsty about. It doesn't explain to you what you actually need to do, the tools you need to analyze the deal. It doesn't talk about how you need to build a team. It doesn't talk about, you know, a lot of the actual hands-on factors that you're going to need to be a successful real estate investor. Hands down, read that one twice. Okay, and so the last book, 4th and final of this video, is a little bit nerdier, so I'm going to hand this back off to Vince. It's about tax.
Okay, so this book is my favorite of all of them, because now I enjoy the US tax code. It's like one of my favorite hobbies. I just dig through it. I try to understand, most of the tax code, how it is written. So there is a common misconception in the United States, especially, where people actually think the tax code is written for the rich, which is 100% not true. It just happens that the rich people take the benefits of the stuff that is written in the tax code. One of them is obviously, as you expected, is real estate. So it doesn't say you have to be rich to own real estate. You could buy money down, zero money down, you can buy a property, if you want to live in it, right? Or if you're a vet, or if you're agricultural loan, or if you want to do an FHA loan, there's ways to get into it. So it's not really written for rich people, but rich people take the most benefits from it. So this book is, Tom Wheelwright actually wrote this book. He's actually a Rich Dad advisor, which means he advises Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the first two books we talked about, Rich Dad and Cashflow Quadrant. So this is a great book. It will tell you exactly how you can save by owning real estate. So, we're not CPAs, we're not legally, we're not biasing illegally, but one of the examples is, if you have a rental property, let's say out of town in Georgia, now, and your family also lives in Georgia, now you can fly to Georgia, you're going to visit your rental property, you can write it off, right? That's one of the advantages. If you go for a family meal with your mom and dad, and you talk about the properties, now that's actually a business expense, you can write it off. Now, you can't do any of this if you're on the quadrant we talked about in book 2 on employee. You can't do that. That's not going to work, right? But since we are also on the I, we have properties in different states. If you go to that state, if your sister happens to live there, and she's a partner, or you're investing in that area, you can actually write off the flight ticket, and you can write off the meals when you go there. So there's a lot of opportunities for you guys. So thanks for watching the video.
Thanks, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Thank you.